Welcome to the HigherEdJobs Podcast, Playlist Edition. I'm Andy Hibble, the Chief Operating Officer and one of the co-founders of HigherEdJobs.
And I'm Kelly Sherwin, the Director of Editorial Strategy. On today's Playlist Edition, we have Steve Snyder, the head of BFA Acting, School of Theater at Penn State University.
Good to see you again, Steve.
Great to be with you folks again. Thanks so much for having me.
I think you know that the Playlist Edition is one of my favorite podcasts to do. I think most of the time, Kelly tolerates me and the process.
That's a good way to put it.
She could have disagreed with that, but no. And we're off.
We're all about honesty on
the
show.
Yeah, and yes, we're very honest. I think Kelly's still sore, to be honest, Steve, because she brought a Journey song to the Playlist Edition. And
okay.
She was just being her authentic self.
Yes. Yeah. And he proved.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
I don't think other friends listen to Journey. I just have to be honest here.
Wow. Oh, wow. Okay.
I know, right? I don't know how we're in the same room with this guy.
Steve, what are your thoughts on Bruce Springsteen?
Oh, he is a national treasure. Do not bring Bruce into this.
Is your name Steve?
No, I don't want you to have people dissing out Bruce.
I have a variety of thoughts on Bruce Springsteen. I think he's a fantastic storyteller. I do think he is a national treasure. I have friends from New Jersey who like that. Bruce may as well be their dad, and in terms of like how much he means to them. So he holds a special place in my heart.
So we're here looking forward to your addition to our Spotify playlist. We put this playlist out there because every career and job search in academia deserves a soundtrack. And we're trying to put that soundtrack together song by song. We've had some of our colleagues and a lot of our guests add a song or two or three to the list. And we hear that you may be interested in adding some music and telling us why it's meaningful to you.
Yes, I'm very interested. I think this is such a cool idea. I love this idea, this playlist. It turns out I have 3 songs for you today. And I hope that at least one of these might be new to your listeners. The first one, I'll trust my instinct here. This is the order in which they came to me. So the first is Jacob Collier, an amazing, wildly talented young musician who happens to be 2 of my kids' favorite, Jacob Collier. And he's got a song called The Sun Is in Your Eyes. And even now it's catching me. I cannot listen to that song without being moved. For a number of reasons. One, because it connects me with my kids, and I got to go see him at a small, really cool club in DC with them. And when he played this song, and it was so beautiful. We talked in the earlier podcast episode, we talked about mistakes and weaving mistakes into a presentation. Jacob sang the wrong words to his own song. And my son, who knows every word of Jacob's songs, and we were, I don't know, maybe 15 feet away from Jacob. We were that close to the front. And Jacob saw my son Elijah see that the words got goofed up. Jacob nodded at Elijah and started the song over. And it was amazing. It was so beautiful and human. And I just lost it. And I'm recording the whole thing as it happened. So we have this treasured video of that, of looking at Elijah and Luca and Jacob, just crazy, just amazing stuff. So there's that connection. But the thing that it does for me to listen to that, and I listen to these songs and songs like these as I'm getting ready for a presentation, getting ready for a difficult day, or getting ready for an interview kind of a situation, because they soften my heart. They ground me and remind me of the things that make me me. They remind me of what I care about and who I care about and who I am and what I bring to the table. So that's Jacob Collier, The Sun Is in Your Eyes. Another one, Elijah, our middle guy, he and Luca both are jazz musicians, and they both play sax and various reed instruments. And Elijah just introduced me to Corey Henry and the Funk Apostles, and the song Love Will Find a Way. And it's just awesome. It's so full of joy and life and muscular presence of just, we're going to figure this out. Love will find a way. So I can barely talk about this stuff without falling apart. So Corey Henry and the Funk Apostles, Love Will Find a Way. And just everything about it. Musicianship is extraordinary. So there's those two. And then old school, back to my Chicago roots, this is Kurt Elling, My Foolish Heart. So this is Kurt Elling, as you folks may know, an incredible jazz vocalist. And one of his homes, his musical homes, is the Green Mill Jazz Club in Chicago. And I love that place so much. And seeing Kurt play there a few times when I lived in the city was just treasured memories. And this song, My Foolish Heart, and this is particularly from the recording, the Live at the Green Mill album, you can hear as it starts, just the first few notes, you can hear, oh, there's an event that is happening right now. A journey is starting. And you can just hear it in the tones. There's anticipation, there's build, there's, something special is about to happen. And so that just awakes in me the storyteller muscle of, oh, here we go. Let's get this journey started and let's see where it's going to go. So I love that. There's just an openness to what's it going to be this time. And I love that spirit. So those are my three.
Well, thank you. Those are all awesome. I know when you're choosing a particular version, that being a live version of the song as your song, that has some meaning to you when you have to choose it. That's real solid dedication to a song. It's so funny where you're talking about the Jacob Collier show and forgetting lyrics. It actually reminds me that something similar happened to me and my youngest. We were actually at a charity event a couple months ago, and Jeff Tweedy was playing, and he was for charity taking requests. So I had bid, and we had won the ability to make a request. And she had been screaming Radio Cure. And I said, no. It needs to be What Light. I want it dedicated to Bex. And he's like, oh my God, I'm torn. I don't know which one to do. He's paying the money. She's screaming Radio Cure, but it's supposed to be for her. And when What Light was selected, the crowd reacted very positively because we have to do What Light. So he gets up there and he's about 2/3 of the way through What Light. And he literally comes to a standstill. Doesn't get the lyrics wrong. Completely forgets the lyrics. And Bex, who's sitting right there with him, like looks at him and says, well, if you would have sung Radio Cure, I could have told you the lyrics. And the crowd erupts. And I would say that at that point, I was very impressed that he did recover. He did finish the song. But I do think he probably regrets not singing Radio Cure and having a 16-year-old put him in his place. So
yes.
Ooh. Yeah.
It's all about recovering, though.
It's all about recovering.
Yes.
It's all about recovering. So
it is. Yep.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today and those wonderful additions to the playlist.
Yes. Thank you, Steve.
This has been one of our more
I was
memorable
actually
episodes.
tearing up a little bit telling you this. You telling the story about tearing up. I'm like, oh.
So.
Oh my goodness.
Yes. A lot of fun today. Thank you so much.
Likewise. Thank you all.
Looking for more conversations in higher ed? We invite you to join the Higher Ed military community as we discuss issues, best practices, news, and general trends affecting our institutions and the higher ed military affiliated community. Inspired by the deep commitment to service that veterans and military-connected faculty, staff, and leaders have towards the academic community, we at HigherEdJobs established Higher Ed Military as a resource for both original and curated news and information, as well as job opportunities from colleges and universities actively recruiting military-connected professionals. Visit us at higheredmilitary.com on Facebook and LinkedIn. Greg, it's so nice to have you here today.
Kelly, it's great to be here. Andy?
Great to see you, Greg. So one of the things that we've come to believe about careers over the past year of doing the podcast is that every job search and every career deserves a soundtrack. And we've put together this little Spotify playlist of what we would say are good songs for job searching or careers or things that strike a fancy with the person who places it on there. And we've had many folks place a song or two on there and wanted to see if maybe you'd be interested in placing a song on our Spotify playlist.
I'd be honored. Now, you might expect that I would pick the Beatles' Paperback Writer, but I'm not going to pick that. That's too easy. I want to nominate the Scottish indie band from 2003, Bell and Sebastian, and their song Wrapped Up in Books.
And for folks who may not be familiar with that song, tell us a little bit about it.
It's got this great 60s vibe. It's romantic, and it's all about how our aspirations are wrapped up in books.
I love it.
That's very, very appropriate. So thank you.
And no, I won't sing it for you.
Oh boy, we were hoping for that, but we'll let it go. If you have any songs you'd like us to consider for the playlist, please email us at podcast@higheredjobs.com or tweet us at HigherEdJobs. We'd love to hear from you. Thanks again for listening to the Higher Ed Jobs Podcast. We'll see you next time.